Bonjour. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to everyone who took time to come here today. My name is Wade Chang, Member of Parliament for Burnaby Central. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional unceded territories of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. Today, we are making a big step forward in passport services for Canadians. This is service that many Canadians depend on at an important moment in their lives, and I'm very pleased that this announcement is taking place here in Vancouver at a place where we welcome people from across Canada and around the world. It is my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Lena Diab, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship to Vancouver. Minister Diab is leading the Government of Canada's work to strengthen and modernize immigration, citizenship, and passport services here in Canada. Please join me in welcoming Minister Diab.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much to my colleague for being here with us this morning in this very beautiful, beautiful place. Too bad it's not a lot sunny, but I'll tell you what, we can certainly see the landscape and everything there. And so it's a very good pleasure to be here in Vancouver for this wonderful announcement and for the warm welcome that we're receiving. So every day from coast to coast to coast, Canadians make preparations to set out and see the world, which is why we actually chose this site here, because you can see that here. In fact, I come from Halifax, from one coast to another coast. We're proud to represent a country that is so diverse and so wide, and that welcomes people from across the world. So some are traveling for a long-awaited family reunion. Others are heading on a work trip, a conference, a carefully planned vacation, or once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Whatever the destination, many of these journeys start the same way, with a valid Canadian passport. A Canadian passport is much more than a travel document. It opens doors around the world, and it helps us connect with loved ones, seize new opportunities, represent Canadian businesses abroad, and discover new places and new cultures. Renewing your passport should be one of the easiest parts of planning a trip, not the most stressful. Un passeport canadien est bien plus qu'un simple document de voyage. Il ouvre des portes partout dans le monde. Il nous permet de rester en contact avec nos proches, de saisir de nouvelles occasions, de représenter les entreprises canadiennes à l'étranger et de découvrir de nouveaux lieux et de nouvelles cultures. Le renouvellement de votre passeport devrait être une des tâches les plus simples pour préparer un voyage et non la plus stressante. So whenever Canadians need a service from their government, they rightly expect the process to be convenient, to be reliable and accessible. They expect secure digital options that save them time and reduce unnecessary paperwork and travel. Put simply, government services should adapt to Canadians' needs and not the other way around. So, en résumé, ce sont les services gouvernementaux qui doivent s'adapter aux besoins des Canadiennes et Canadiens, et non l'inverse. So that is why I am pleased today to announce that as of today, online passport renewal will be available to all eligible adult Canadians applying from within Canada. We are removing the limit on the number of people who can access this service. That means eligible Canadians will no longer have to wait for an online application spot to become available. They will be able to begin their renewal online whenever it is convenient for them to do so. From home, they can complete their online application. They will need to upload a digital passport photo that is provided by a commercial photographer. Can't be a homemade photo. and receive updates in real time as their application is processed. They can also upload copies of any required supporting documents instead of mailing them in, so they don't have to part with their important personal information and documents. An expired passport does not necessarily mean that you need to start over. You may also be eligible to renew it online, even if your passport has already expired, provided that it was issued within the last 15 years. So online renewals come with a 20 business day service standard and are now backed by our government's 30 business day or free passport guarantee, which I was pleased to announce April 1st. You know, get it on time or your money back. So hopefully that is a good benefit for people, but we do aim and we will strive to ensure that we meet our service standards for sure. So for many Canadians, what's the benefit? Online renewal is about much more than convenience. La possibilité de renouveler un passeport en ligne représente bien plus qu'une simple commodité. Ce service permet de passer moins de temps à faire l'accueil et plus à organiser les voyages qui comptent vraiment. So it means less time standing in the line and more time planning your trip that you're looking forward to. It also means fewer interruptions to work, to your school, and to your family life. It means people can access an important government service when and where it works best for them. Pour les Canadiennes et Canadiens vivant dans des communautés rurales ou isolées, pour les personnes à mobilité réduite et pour les gens très occupés, cette option peut vraiment changer la donne. So for Canadians who live in rural communities or remote and northern communities, for people that have mobility challenges, for anyone with a busy schedule, the option can make a real difference. Again, this is for eligible Canadians that are over 16 years of age and that have already had applied for a passport previously. This is the renewal option. So the online service also helps applicants avoid common mistakes and incomplete submissions, reducing the risk of unnecessary delays. Cela dit, nous savons que ce n'est pas tout le monde qui peut ou veut utiliser un service en ligne. Cette annonce vise à offrir davantage de choix et non à réduire les options offertes. So at the same time, we recognize that not everyone wants to use an online service. So let me be perfectly clear. The announcement is about providing more choice and more options, not fewer options. You can always access by visiting a Service Canada counter. So Canadians will still be able to renew their passports in person or by sending it in the mail. Those services are not going away. Le renouvellement en ligne constitue simplement un autre moyen sûr et pratique d'accéder à un service gouvernemental essentiel. Online renewal is simply another secure and convenient way for Canadians to access an essential government service. So here I want to emphasize that we have introduced this service carefully, responsibly, and took time to launch it for everyone eligible. So we started with a very limited number of applications. We tested the system thoroughly, and we listened to feedback from users. As confidence in the system grew, we expanded access while continuing to monitor security, stability, and performance. And today, we're ready to take the next step and make the service available to every eligible Canadian adult. Car si la commodité est importante, la sécurité l'est tout autant. So because while convenience matters, security matters just as much, as passport is one of Canada's most valuable identity documents. Le passeport est l'un des documents d'identité les plus précieux au Canada. Les Canadiennes et Canadiens doivent savoir que les renseignements personnels fournis sont protégés et que le programme de passeport reste fiable. Canadians need to know that the personal information they provide is protected and that the passport program remains strong. The online system was designed and tested according to Government of Canada security and privacy standards, and we will continue to monitor it as more Canadians begin to use it. Alors, nous continuons à le surveiller alors que de plus en plus de personnes utilisent. Today's announcement is part of our broader work to modernize passport services. Ces efforts s'appuient sur un principe simple. Les Canadiens et Canadiennes méritent des services gouvernementaux faciles à utiliser, fiables et transparents. The work is guided by a simple principle. Canadians deserve public services that is easy to use, that is reliable and accountable. They should have clear information about what is required. They should have choices that reflect how they live today, et ils devraient pouvoir être sûrs que le gouvernement utilise la technologie de manière responsable afin d'améliorer les services sans compromettre la sécurité ni l'accessibilité. And they should be able to trust that government is using technology responsibly to improve service without compromising security or accessibility. And so that is why we are announcing this today, and that is what guides us as we make important improvements to the many services Canadians rely on their government to provide. Removing the limit on online passport renewals may sound like a small operational change, but for hundreds of thousands of Canadians, it will mean one less errand, one less lineup, and one less thing to worry about before their next journey. So whether you're traveling for business, whether you're traveling to visit family, to study abroad, or simply to explore the world, we're making it easier to get you there. As Canadians, we are incredibly blessed. We have one of the most powerful passports in the entire world. And with today's announcement, it will be even easier to put it into use. So thank you for being here today. Merci beaucoup d'être avec nous aujourd'hui. I want to now turn things over to my friend, Annie Koutrakis, the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Jobs and Families and la fière députée de Vimy. Alors, Madame Koutrakis, la parole est à vous. Merci.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, my dear colleague, Mr. Chang, for being here. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous. It's really great to be here in Vancouver with Minister Diab on behalf of Minister Haidu, who is responsible for Service Canada. I'm very happy to have an opportunity to talk about how Service Canada is delivering fast, efficient, accessible, and reliable passport service to Canadians. Improving services is about putting the client's experience at the center of what Service Canada does. It means building a digital-first service with secure and reliable infrastructure, lowering costs, and maximizing value for Canadians. When it comes to the passport program, modernizing services has made the program more reliable, more accessible, and more efficient. Le gouvernement a travaillé d'arrache-pied pour éliminer les cloisonnements entre les ministères fédéraux de manière à ce que les Canadiens puissent avoir accès aux prestations et aux services dont ils ont besoin, et ce quand ils en ont besoin. Immigration, Réfugiés et Citoyenneté Canada et Services Canada ont travaillé en collaboration afin d'offrir l'option de renouvellement en ligne, ce qui permet maintenant aux gens de présenter une demande à partir de leur ordinateur ou de leur appareil mobile au lieu de devoir le faire en personne à un bureau du Service Canada. Nous avons également mis en place différents outils, pardonnez-moi, notamment l'outil de vérification de l'état d'une demande de passeport qui permet de suivre l'évolution d'une demande en ligne. Enfin, les gens qui souhaitent se présenter en personne pourront voir les délais d'attente estimatifs dans Centre Service Canada et les bureaux des passeports en consultant le site canada.ca. We began rolling out the option for Canadians to renew their passports online in December 2024 in a limited capacity to test the system. It's exactly how Minister Diab walked us through the process earlier, and the initial period of testing is now over. As Minister Diab just told us, we have, as of today, removed the daily limit of passport applications accepted through the online passport renewal service. This is great news. It means that all Canadians eligible to renew their adult passport online can submit their application at their convenience. Summer is peak travel period. Summer days like these lead people to think about getting away for a bit and think about their passports. During seasonal peaks, as we experience during the summer, Service Canada locations can see longer waiting times, especially in busier urban locations like here in the Vancouver area. The digital option lets clients bypass those lines and apply anytime and anywhere in Canada, which reduces wait times for those who do need to come in person. Last year, and this figure really surprised me, so last year, over 3.8 million passports were issued. This year, we expect to receive about 4.6 million applications. On a yearly basis, approximately 60% of applications are renewal and therefore likely to be eligible for the online channel. That makes potentially 2 million applications or more that could be taken out annually of the in-person queues at Service Canada locations. That's a difference maker. So I'm very pleased to be part of this announcement today, which lifts the lid on the number of people who can access this online service. It will help us continue to deliver the efficient, dependable passport services Canadians deserve in every corner of our country. And if you permit me, I wanted to share a little personal story. I am recently recovering from a full hip replacement surgery, hence my cane, which makes me look quite tough, I think. For people like me with reduced mobility, this additional option is a game changer for them because through the comfort of their own home, with not really having to rely on other people to do the work for them, it will make the process a lot easier. So through this lived experience, I can tell you how much I appreciate that we are today announcing this major announcement. Thank you. Merci.
Hello. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So we're going to start with our question period. So please state your name and the outlet you work for. Please know that it is one question and one follow-up and that we have a hard stop at 10:40 today. So, bonjour tout le monde. Donc, on commence avec notre période de questions. Donc, juste dire votre nom et le média pour lequel vous travaillez. C'est une question puis un follow-up et on a un hard stop à 10h40. Merci.
Bonjour, Julie Landry, Radio-Canada, NCBC, so if you can answer in French and English. D'abord en français. I don't know who I should ask the question to, but what does it mean for employees of Service Canada or Passport Canada? Donc, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire pour le nombre d'emplois ou d'employés à Service Canada ou Passport Canada?
So at Service Canada, there's an expected, service delivery. So given what happens, when the peak seasons are in place, the employees will be there to make sure that the service standard is delivered on time. During less busy peak seasons, I guess, the management at the time will be the ones to make sure that, the service standards and employees are not affected in any way. So it's business as usual. We haven't announced any other changes that what's already been announced in the past years, but as far as, Service Canada and the standard of delivery and the employees that are there to service, to make sure that the passport service is there, will continue. Donc, à Service Canada, la responsabilité et l'attente, c'est de trouver une façon avec les employés de continuer à livrer le service que les Canadiens attendent de Service Canada. Donc, aucun changement. C'est business as usual.
Pas de mise à pied.
Pas du tout.
Et, qu'est-ce qui est prévu plus précisément pour assurer la sécurité du système? Parce que c'est inquiétant, dès qu'il se passe des choses en ligne, s'assurer que ceux qui font la demande, c'est vraiment ceux qui la font.
Alors, merci pour cette question. C'est une très bonne question. C'est pour sa raison et à IRCC a travaillé étroitement avec Service Canada pour, comme Mme Koutrakis a dit, on a commencé peu à peu à décembre 2024, je pense, et à ce temps-là, on a seulement fait 10 demandes par jour. Alors, c'est maintenant à juillet 2026 et on peut assurer les Canadiens et les Canadiennes qu'on a travaillé beaucoup pour assurer que la sécurité des documents et aussi les risques de fraude sont minimisés parce que c'est critique pour nous. Oui.
I would with virtual TV. So for family traveling, how would this new measure accommodate underage children? Do they have to apply in person?
So thanks for the question. So yes, today's announcement is for adults 16 and over that already have had passports. So this is a renewal of passport applications. We will continue to monitor, just like I answered in French as well. We will continue to monitor how this goes on in the next number of days, weeks, and months, as we continue to improve, perhaps adding children, perhaps adding population that is not in Canada, and so on. But for now, it is for adults 16 years of age and over to renew them. Any children, any people that live abroad, any other population will have to either go to Service Canada in person or go to embassies around the world if they're not in the country.
Okay. Can I ask another question regarding the Hong Kong pathway?
Oui.
Yep.
Yes.
So as this program is coming to a close by the end of next month, will there be any workable time frame that can accommodate and clean up the backlog?
Okay. Thanks for the question. It's very important. As you know, there's significant inventory, and we have limited immigration space levels, but we continue to process applications. We've already approved over 13,000 in the Hong Kong pathways, and we have also approved other applications through other pathways, Today, I'm actually meeting with the minister provincially, and I'm also meeting with some stakeholders with my colleague to really see their concerns, see what else we can do to help with that. So we're conscious of that. We understand the significance that is to the community, and we will continue to work on it. You're welcome.
Hi there, Aaron MacArthur from Global News. What was the daily limit before? And is there a risk that up to 2 million renewals per year might crash the system?
Quite frankly, I did read when it started in December 2024, they started with 10. But that was a year and 8 months ago, so that certainly is not the case now. They actually, there is a number, and we're happy to provide it to you in terms of how many were done. We do have the numbers, but I don't want to go through the papers right now. But no, the system has been tested, and IRCC and Service Canada have an expectation. They usually have an awareness of what they expect, and it was designed with that in mind and tested and whatever, which is why it took to this point to lift that today. And I will want to add, in-person is always available, and so is by mail, just in case. And so that is, always available as well.
And my follow-up question is, technology always costs money. Recently, there was an increase in the cost of passport to Canadians. Will this increase costs for Canadians looking to travel?
Oh, so that's a good question as well, because we asked on that. And I'll tell you what I was told. Passport fees had not been increased in Canada since 2013. So we really need to keep up with the cost of the government providing services to Canadians, and so that's why there was an increase, and we don't anticipate an increase now because of the announcement that I am making today. But we're always conscious of affordability and affordability challenges that Canadians have.
If I may,
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just to your question about what the limit was up until today, my notes said 1,500.
1,500 is the limit per day.
For what? For 2,000?
2,000 per day.
2,000 per day. Thank you.
We kept testing it, and so it wouldn't make sense that.
Minister, I'm Pratik Mahal from Red FM. I have an unrelated question for you right now. Recently, the students from some provinces, especially from Ontario and Alberta, they are protesting because they are getting mass rejections for the post-graduation work permits, and right now a protest is going on in Alberta. So what is government doing about it? Is it targeted something, and why it is happening?
So, international students add value to our Canadian economy. There's no doubt about it. When I started in political life in 2013 as a provincial minister, we worked extremely hard to ensure that when international students came to our educational institutions, that they were welcomed, that they were looked after, and that they got a very good education. Henceforward, decade or so later, we started to see in Canada, in different parts of the country, that there were issues and challenges happening. And so a number of things had to happen in 2024. Now, and I'm proud of some decisions that were taken, but I would say many people across the country, whether it's the institutions themselves, whether it's the students themselves, whether it's Canadians, all groups. Your specific questions on PGWP is that there has been no change. It was always the case that non-credit are not entitled to these postgraduate work permit. So we have not changed any eligibility for that. We continue to work with provinces because the provinces are the ones that have the jurisdiction over the education component. And so we're sensitive to the needs of the provinces as well as the needs of Canadians and as well as the students. But I assure you, we've made no changes to our eligibility requirements since November 2024.
Thank you, everyone. So this concludes today's press conference. Merci tout le monde. C'est ce qui met fin à la conférence de presse. Bonne journée.